Morning. Beautiful day. I hope everyone gets the chance to enjoy it later on. I'm Reid. I'm the Managing Director of Tribe Sports. There we go. And I'm just going to take you a little bit through our intro, and then I'll kind of crack on with the presentation. So we'll be taking through Tribe's journey and ethos, our three key themes for success, the digital challenges that we see on the horizon for Tribe Sports, our engagement in the community, which is obviously a big term, strategic shifts that we've been feeling, and then a bit back where we started. So hopefully, if you've got any questions, you can ask them at the end. Right, it's kind of a little bit of a catchphrase, but it's something we kind of do believe in. Don't start a business, build a brand. We feel at Tribe Sports it's always been about a brand, and it's about inviting and aspiring, motivating, and connecting with every runner through Tribe Sports product innovations and digital brand activations. So Tribe Sports has gone through quite a change over its years when it first started, and I don't know how many of you knew when it first started or if you've come across it now more recently, but to take you through where we were. So we actually originally started off as a sports social network. So we had a large variety of sports across it. The whole aim was always, which is our main ethos, is motivating and giving confidence to people to exercise wherever they are, whatever they're doing. When it was at its peak, we had about 250,000 users, and we were across about 130 countries. Most of the biggest presence was in the UK, US, and Southeast Asia, and mostly Singapore there, which was interesting. We felt even at this point that the community saw Tribe as a brand, not just a social network tool. And they were really motivated and engaged by Tribe Sports. From building that up, we got a lot of the community were asking about kit, and they wanted specific sportswear. So this is when we first started into the retail model. We started creating clothes across running, cycling, yoga, and gym. But what we found was that it was just so broad. Everything was, we're kind of trying to hit everything. And that is just, it's too hard to be kind of good at everything. We want to be good at something more specific. So we feel a lot of people do identify with one sport in particular, and from our kind of community base, it was the biggest audience were really looking at running. And for myself and for a lot of the team, running was really important to us. So it kind of felt the natural place for us to be. So we started really focusing on running and looking at the clothes around that. At this point, we actually started a partnership with Parkrun, which has been really a major step for us in terms of changing the company and growing it. So obviously, I don't know if many of you know Parkrun, but obviously the kind of a grassroots movement. Really, the whole ethos was similar to ours, motivating, getting people out and exercising, doing those 5Ks every Saturday. It was a great company to be part of and partnership was with. We did the sponsorship for us entailed doing all their milestone t-shirts, so really showing the runners their achievements, whether it was doing 50, 100, 250, or 500 runs. So it was a great thing to be part of. It's now kind of run more of its course, and they bring a lot of stuff in-house, but their ethos was always with ours, about that really motivating, inspiring people just to get out there and do some exercise or do some running. And then where we've come now to here is that we felt that as we were focusing on running, there was actually a bit of a gap in the market in having really good, high-quality running kit that was fit for purpose. It was really great to run in, but it would also look really nice. And so having that kind of understated style at all times. And that's where we felt, there's a lot of stuff that's very specific for running, but doesn't look great, or it looks lovely, but doesn't actually work very well. So we started moving towards, I suppose, more this sort of aspirational brand. Same ethos always, though, being motivated and inspiring people. And then also running a really strong business with this. So that is sort of where we have come to now. So for us, as being a small company, this is where we felt to be successful against all these big players is really all about the customer. So it was putting the customer first, looking at the operational focus being the customer and setting priorities for the business. And how we felt we would achieve this was making really great, high quality kit, easing people through our customer journey, and having delivery excellence. So looking at the kit, We use technical fabrics. We're always looking at new technologies, whether it's laser cutting or bonding on seams, to stop with any chafing, sweat wicking, antibacterial, anti-odor. We're making the design really fit for purpose. So while it might look also nice, it also performs really well. And also really trying to move away from this throwaway culture and just buying a whole bunch of new leggings and then they wear out within 2 wears and that's sort of it. This stuff would be built to last. Creating understated style, and enjoy wearing it. So we felt we have this great kit now that we're really behind. So how do you get the customer really to want it? So looking at the customer journey, and mostly we're an online platform. So looking at the qualitative and quantitative optimization of their journey, having excellent imagery, descriptions, what many companies do, having free returns, getting people over the hurdle and feeling comfortable that they haven't tried it on, so it's easy to send it back. Great customer service, looking through emails and having live chat, and also importantly looking at customer feedback at the end, so trying to achieve that high NPS score, so that people are kind of building that loyal customer base and growing that community because they trust you and they like the kit and then they like the journey they've had. And then finally, making sure for delivery, quick turnaround, trusted delivery service, and once again, hassle-free returns. So this is for us as, once again, being a small business, how we can be the best that we can be, and really engaging with customers and really trusting us. So some of the things that obviously are going to hinder us, in the future, and these have been some of the digital challenges on the horizon for Tribe Sports, is definitely there's over-reliance on the paid social channels like Facebook and other paid platforms. Tough retail environment, which I'm sure a lot of people can appreciate. It's tough out there, especially for small businesses to try and compete. And then even legislative changes like the GDPR, it will have a huge impact on customer communication. So for us as Tribe Sports is, focusing on that customer satisfaction, their recommendations, and then growing a tribe and that continued domino effect, and how being strong in that community can really help us grow. Some of the areas to look at in terms of really engaging our customers and making them want to kind of continue to come back to us. So we want to invite, inspire, coach, connect, and then convert those customers into buying customers. So some of the ways that we've been doing this, and I'll deep dive into a couple of them, looking at personalization and targeting, communicating frequently but making it really relevant, so it's not just blasting in with anything, it makes it engaging. How you storytell within that, so humanizing the brand and really using premium content. How we're connecting with the customer and how we're taking them through our journey. And looking at the whole digital platform itself, and looking at kind of making sure improving our whole digital ecosystem so it's working really nicely all together so they're getting a similar message. And then some of the KPIs that we kind of have in terms of coming along is building that really strong brand strength, acquiring a new member. The channels are performing like either email or from our online site or social media are working really, really well together. That member becomes sort of an active member. They're more engaged in who you are. Then you kind of make the jump to that they're a buying customer, so they've bought something, they like it. And then most importantly for us is that they're a retained member, so they have come back and repurchased. And that's something that we found we actually have a really strong growth in. I think it's nearly 30% of our sales are actually someone who's come back 4 more times. So, and that continuing to do that domino effect is how we stay strong and our customers keep coming back to us. So looking into storytelling and connection. So the first one is storytelling. So for us, we use explore and discover as kind of one of our taglines. And it's being inspirational, aspirational through the imagery and the photo shoots. I mean, not many people are going to be out in Namibia. This is where I was taken, running over dunes. But the ethos behind it is that let's get out there and explore something amazing. And it may be that it's just doing your local park runs or trail running, or maybe you're just training for a race in the city along the roads. I mean, but it's about just putting yourself on, getting out there, feeling good about yourselves, and maybe exploring new areas. And then with our tone that we use with it is always down to earth, familiar, understanding the everyday difficulties, of normal life, and really, once again, humanizing the brand. So even though the pictures may look aspirational, the tone is that we do kind of get it, and this is what we're supposed to be doing, is inspire you to get out there. And then looking at how we're connecting with our members. So we've been doing lots of different things. So previously with Park Run, which was a great way to connect with people, achieving milestone t-shirts, showing runners' accomplishments. That was a great way for us connecting with people. More recently, we started doing pop-up shops. We are predominantly online, but we've done 2 of these now. We actually have one live right now in Clapham Junction. We have a little pop-up shop. And for us, they're a great way for us to meet the customers, find out what people like, what they don't like, how they shop, what is it that they're drawn to. I also get all the team in my head office to work in the shop, because once again, I think it's important. They might be doing the finance or the customer service, but it's important for them to see those customers, what they're doing, talk to them, get their feedback. And I think it's a great way to touch base with people, and also to sort of for everyone to see, to touch and feel how it looks. We've also used the space to run running workshops. So bringing in a local physio clinic, they've been talking to runners about injury or running technique. Once again, really engaging with people, so they're liking the brand, they're feeling, that inspiring, motivating feeling, but same and providing actually some really interesting information. So this has been really exciting that we've just been doing. In terms of, and that's very much a local, customer-focused thing to do. In terms of looking at the non-kind of local customers, we do a lot of questionnaires. So once again, finding out what people like about tribe sports, how the style suits them, what has been their favorite piece, or what do they think we're missing. And we're trying to use that to bring back into other collections, or changing a style or something, or adding extra gel pockets, which is usually what comes back. But once again, it's really, people feel like they're having a connection with us, and a more personal connection with us. We do, in terms of connection, use social media. So we use it for using our aspirational photos. We use it for product breakdown, so kind of pinpointing each of the different elements of a product to show kind of why, why it would be great to wear. We have some influencers which are wearing the product, which is always good to continue with. We've also done a lot of guest blogging. So we've done, we do some of our own stuff, but I think it's nice to sometimes bring in more of an expert in something, or something a bit different. So recently we had a guy called Tom Craigs, who's the national endurance coach for GB, and he came in, he's done a little blog for us for a marathon, and about how you feel at different points in the marathon, and like the wall, and he's like, doesn't exist, and it was really interesting. So it's someone coming in to touch point with some customers, maybe if they're doing the run, marathon, or a different run. We also had a woman called Sasha Cowley who did a blog for us, and she's a co-founder of a company called Run Fit Mum, and it's about a mum's running group and the feeling of trying to get out there and be a group together. And that's nice, because it's not that she's an expertise, but it's that nice feeling of what they've done as a group to get people out running. And then we've had more technical areas, this company called Body Logic, who have done little videos for us on like running technique or running strength training. So they're quite different blogs, but I think it brings in different parts of the community and different people's interests. So once again, trying to connect with people on different levels. And then also we have some print and digital press, so that people can see that, get external reviews. So the strategic shift. We as Tribe, kind of where Jamaica is, somewhere in the middle. We are trying to kind of move away from the from towards the to, as we try and build this kind of new customer base, this new community. So instead of being just a consumer, it's our members, a member of our tribe, and they belong, and they feel like they belong with us. It's not just a straight e-commerce platform, but it's a branded e-commerce, and they understand that brand and understand that ethos. The online shopping is really an online consumer experience, so they enjoy everything that the touch points of that. The commercial narrative is more about the editorial storytelling, so using either the photos or the journey that we're doing, so it's really engaging. Not just standalone communication, but looking in the consumer journey, and then once again, not just a straight channel focus, but looking at that digital ecosystem, because people might get an email and then there's something on Facebook, and it all works harmoniously together, so the different touch points work nicely together. So that is where we want to be, and we're heading towards it, and that's things that we're doing. But I think everyone say we have still keep going towards that. So that brings me back to the first slide again. Because when we were pulling this together, Don't Start a Business, Build a Brand, that mission statement has always maintained throughout the whole thing about inviting, inspiring, motivating, connecting with every runner. And when we were looking at this, so we started off in this social network, building up this retail model. We were very much, I suppose, building this typical consumer e-commerce model. But what we felt was that actually, we want to bring back a lot of those points from that social network. We want to be more of a branded e-commerce experience. We want that social community. We want them to feel inspired and motivated to do more exercise. So all those things that we originally started with is what we need to, what we are bringing and what we will continue to bring into tribe sports. That way, you know, as a small business trying to compete against these big ones, you know, having that strong community, people that feel loyal to you, that is how, you know, we believe we'll continue growing and succeed in the future. And that's me.